Hello and welcome to another MHP tutorial. I'm Matt Haslam, owner of MHP. And in this tutorial, we're going to show you how to set up and use our voiceover audio recording kit. That way you get crisp and clear audio for all of your recording needs. First, we're going to go over what you should receive in the package for our voiceover audio recording kit. Secondly, how to set it up. Third, how to properly record your audio. And finally, we're going to show you how to set it all down, pack it away, and ship it back to us. Now first, let's go over what you should receive in your audio recording kit package. The first of many things is this standard AC adapter, which allows us to get power to the device we'll talk about in just a second. This can plug into any AC outlet in your wall. Next is a Shure SM58 microphone. This microphone is a pro audio microphone for voiceover work, and it should come with a windscreen. That way during the P's, the R's, and other sounds, you aren't getting a pop in your microphone. Next is an XLR cable. Now, some audio kits, we might send you a 20-foot XLR cable because of the different needs that your project has, but usually we're going to send you a 3-foot XLR cable like this one. That way, there isn't much cable extra there. But it's good enough for a lot of different projects that we're working on, and it's good enough to hold the microphone right above a table. Finally, what you should receive is the actual Zoom H4n audio recorder. This is your actual device that you'll be recording audio to. And next, we're going to show you how to actually set up your audio recorder to be ready to record your voiceover. So, take your audio recorder, this Zoom H4n, and you're going to notice it has this protective packaging on it, which you don't need to actually use in the recording, but it protects it on its way to you and on the way back to us. You're going to notice on the side here, there's a little tab. Just stick your finger underneath it and pull up very slowly, and make sure you hold on to the audio recorder as you open this. That way it doesn't fall on the floor and accidentally break, because this is very expensive and very delicate. So just take it out. You're not going to need this protective packaging until you decide to ship it back to us. And then this is your actual audio recorder. Just lay that on the table, and then take the AC wall adapter that allows it to have power and plug that into any standard wall outlet that you have in your building. Next, take the other end and plug it into the bottom of the audio recorder right here. You're going to notice it has this little hole here for the adapter to go into. Just stick that in there, just like so, and now your device has power. On the side here, you're going to notice a little button that says hold and power right there. And what you're going to do in order to turn on the device is simply take your finger on that little black button and turn it to the right, push it to the right, I should say, for just a second, and you're going to notice the screen coming on. And that's going to take just a minute to load because the SD card is quite big that we have inside there. Your SD card should already be formatted in there. You don't have to worry about any of that in case you're worried about it. It's completely empty. That way it's ready for you to record as much as you need on it. But it may still take a second just to load that SD card and make it all ready to record. Next, you're going to take the XLR cable that came with your voiceover kit, and you're going to connect your microphone and your audio recorder to each other. That way you can use this microphone to record your audio. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this end of the XLR cable, this flat end, I should say, of the XLR cable, and you're going to notice it has 3 pins inside of it, which should connect to your audio recorder. And you're going to notice this little tiny blank little hole in there. That's a rectangular little hole. And the reason why I mentioned that is because this has to line up to the audio recorder itself when you're plugging it in. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that notice that little rectangle, that hole there, and line that up with the top of the audio recorder, just like this. And then slowly push it in to this connector on the left-hand side, number 1 right here. Push it into this connector at the bottom of the audio recorder, and it should go in very smoothly. If for some reason you don't line those 3 pins up with the 3 holes that are at the bottom here, you're going to notice it will not go in at all. And you don't want to force it. And you don't want to twist it either. You want that rectangle to line up with the number 1 right here, and that way it pushes in very easily. You do want to push it in a little bit to make sure it's in there snug and it's not coming loose and stuff like that, but it should be in there and go in quite easily. Then take the other end of that cable and put it into your microphone here. You're going to notice on the microphone itself, it also has a rectangular hole at the top here of the bottom. And you're also going to notice those same 3-pin design here at the bottom of the microphone. You're going to notice 3 holes here at the end of the XLR cable, as well as a little clasp that connects it once it's in there. That way it doesn't come loose while you're using it. And what you're going to do is you're going to connect those up, this little clasp to that little rectangle, and push it in until you hear it click. And this little clasp should click in, and that way it doesn't come apart. Please don't pull on this too hard, but it should be snug enough where you can go like this and it shouldn't come apart on you. Now to start actually recording on your audio device. For this, you want to make sure that you're in as quiet of an environment as you can possibly get in. So if you're in an office somewhere, please go to a very quiet room like the one we're in right now in our studio here at MHP. The more quiet the environment is, the better the recording will be in the end for us to use. And if you have a lot of ambient sound going on in the background, such as an office or traffic going down the road outside or something, the more loud that is, the more we can't do anything with your recording in the end. There is simply no way to fix everything in post, as many people like to say. There's only so much we can do. So once you're all ready and you're in a quiet environment, just leave your audio recorder sitting here on the table in front of you. Take your microphone in your hand and hold it like so. You want to make sure that you hold it with a firm grip. That way it doesn't drop out of your hand, and that way you're not fumbling around during the actual recording. It's important to note not to start banging your fingers against here out of nervousness while recording, because that does impact the recording a lot, as well as tapping your foot on the ground or anything similar. Anything that makes noise in the background is bad for the recording. Next, hold the microphone about 4 to 6 inches away from your mouth while recording itself. And now what you should do is hit this little record button right here, this red button on the audio recorder, once, and it should start blinking. And as you talk, you should notice a little line appear and disappear as you begin to speak. And during this time, you might be on a live stream with us over FaceTime or Skype to ensure that we get to actually see what audio you're recording, and that way we can actually help you as you're recording to set all these levels up. But for the most part, maybe you're not on a FaceTime or Skype call with us at that moment, so you need to do this all on your own. And what you need to do in order to set your microphone level is simply click on 1 over here on the left, and then on the right side of the audio recorder, you're going to see a record level, up or down, a plus or minus. And so simply click on that 1 and go up with it, and keep talking no matter what until you notice that line on your screen go up to between the -24 and -12 symbols. It's okay if this line goes up into the -12 to -6 levels, but no matter what, you don't want it to be too loud for us. And what you're going to notice, I'll do it as a demonstration right now just so you can see. I'll click the 1 and keep going up until I hit 100. And if I scream right now, yo, you're going to notice all of a sudden there's that black line that appears at the right-hand side of the screen. And what that means is the audio actually peaked on us, and there is no audio there at all for us to use. So you want to make sure that you're at a low enough volume where the line only goes to, at most, the -6 point on the screen. And simply right here, about 72 we're going to try for my voice here. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to start maybe talking at a higher volume right now. Hello, how are you doing today? It's a little bit too high. So I want to bring that down just a tad to maybe 64. Hello, how are you doing today? Still a little bit too high. Try about 55. Hello, how are you doing today? Hello, how are you doing today? And now that line doesn't go above -6 when I talk even loudly. If you plan on screaming during the recording itself, please be aware that you want a very lower volume to how you're recording. That way you're not affecting it too much. And we're still getting audio there in general. But a volume like this where I'm speaking and just normally and the line appearing right there on the screen, as you can see, should be just fine. As long as your line is somewhere in that realm, it should be absolutely fine. The line when you talk should go to anywhere between -24 and -6 on the screen, somewhere between those 2 points. And it should only appear in the left as well, because you only have one input connected into the audio recording device. The right-hand side is for other purposes, not for voiceover. This is an audio recorder that's made for many different things, and you only need to worry about that one line. So don't worry about anything else. Please, with this, do not hit any of the top buttons or the mic button right here. You only want to hit the number 1 button. If you accidentally hit the mic button and it switches to another input, you're going to notice that there's audio on both channels. You do not want that for this purpose. You want just one. So if it happens to have the mic as the red input over here, you want to click the number 1 to make sure it's on both of those. Make sure that the 1 and the 2 are lit up red. And now you can actually start recording. What's important to note is while this light is blinking, it is not recording anything. That is only to preview what you are going to record. Now, if during the recording you want to hear yourself, you can simply take a pair of headphones and plug it into this headphone line right here, and that way you can actually hear what you're recording. But a pair of headphones is not included in the voiceover audio recording kit, simply out of weight and size for actually shipping it. It's a lot better and safer to ship without those headphones. But if you want to record while hearing yourself, you can do that as well. But typically you don't need to. You just need to see that the line is in the safe area. To actually start recording, hit that record button one more time after it starts blinking. So we're going to hit that once more. And now you should notice that a time code starts to appear at the top of the audio recorder. And you're going to notice the record button now is in solid red. It's not blinking anymore. That's very important. Once you see the time code here, once you see it just pure red over here, it is actually recording to the SD card internally on this device. Next, I'm going to take my microphone, again 4 to 6 inches away from my mouth, and say and spell my name as well as the name of the project I'm working on. So I'm going to say Matt Haslam, MATTHASLAM, voiceover audio recording kit tutorial. And now that I know my name and the project I'm working on, that way the editors over here at MHP will know what project this recording pertains to. Now, while I'm recording, I want to keep in mind that if I have a script for the project I'm working on, I don't want to be holding that script in my hands at any time, because that paper moving around would create sound for this microphone to pick up as well, and I don't want that in my recording. So if I have a script, I'm going to lay it here on the table in front of me, and that way I'm reciting those lines off of the table and not having that paper clanging around. And let's say I make a mistake or two while I'm recording a voiceover, and that is absolutely fine. Making mistakes is perfectly all right with a recording. We do not need an entire voiceover recording of one take for the entire thing. That's completely unreasonable for some longer recordings and for some longer scripts. So if I make a mistake, I'm going to start that paragraph that I was working on all over again. I'm not going to start from the very, very beginning of the entire script. I'm just going to start from that paragraph. And that way I get each and every paragraph perfect in the end recording. That way I'm not cutting mid-sentence or something to make it sound good in the end edit. So if I make a mistake, I'm going to start from the beginning of that paragraph once again and try that entire paragraph over again until I get it right. It does not matter how long of a recording I make here, just as long as it's all there. I want to make sure that I record one person on one recording here. So before I stop this recording, I'm going to make sure that all of my lines are perfectly fine. And once I have that person complete, I'm going to hit this stop button right here, which is the little square button right there. And it might have a please wait sign on it for just a couple seconds to let you know that the recording is processing and it's actually recording that onto the SD card at the moment. And it's just finishing up that recording to make sure that it saves properly. Once this screen appears back on your screen and you again have nothing there and the red light goes away, once that happens, you know that the recording was saved properly to the SD card internally on this device. And now I have that recording. If I have to record another person, again, I'm going to go through the same process of clicking this once to get my level, clicking twice, clicking a second time to make sure it starts recording there. Again, record them throughout all of their lines, and again, hit stop at the very end. Now, let's say you want to hear back what you just recorded. What you're going to do is hit this play button, and you can actually start hearing yourself through this speaker on the back. And that's going to allow you to hear all of that back and see how you did. It's not going to be the best audio coming out of this little speaker because it's not meant to be, but know that the audio inside of this device is a lot better. Once we get it into our editing bay, that audio is going to be crystal clear for us to use. The speaker here is just a very cheap speaker that is used to let you hear the overall thing and make sure you got the lines correct. Then what I'm going to do is actually turn off the device first here. Again, I want to make sure that the record button is blank. I want to make sure that it's not recording anything over here and the microphone isn't turned on. What I'm going to do is, again, this power button over here, I'm going to take that black button and press and hold it to the right, push it down to the right, and it should say on the screen, goodbye, see you. And I'm going to let it go, and it's going to turn off. And now the screen should be completely blank. Once that happens, then I can unplug everything from this device. So I'm going to take this XLR cable, I'm going to use my fingers here on the actual connector itself. I do not want to pull the cable from back here, but I want to pull it from the actual connection point and pull it out just like so. And then I want to take the power cable and disconnect that as well. Again, I'm going to use my fingers on the connection point itself, not the cable. Pull that out. And now that everything's saved on here, I can put this back into the case that it came in, this protective case, close it, push that little tab down until it clicks in there. And at this point, this should be completely closed and you shouldn't be able to open it until you open it again. Put that off to the side for just a second. Then on the microphone, push down on this little tab over here with your finger and pull out. If you try pulling this cable out on its own without hitting that clasp first, you're going to break either the microphone or the cable. So please push that little clasp down first and then pull the cable out. Again, using your fingers on the connection point, not the cable itself. Next, you can wrap up this cable in your hand just like so, very delicately. Please do not take your cable if you have a longer XLR cable that your kit comes with for that purpose. Please do not wrap it around your arm like this. That damages the cable and we cannot use that cable ever again if that happens. So please wrap it up very delicately, and if you're familiar with the over-under method, please wrap it up in that way. But just something like this should be absolutely fine. Next, unplug the AC adapter from the wall. And for this one, it doesn't matter as much, so you can simply wrap it around your hand until the entire cable is together like this. And now you can take this cable, the audio recorder itself, and the microphone and put them back into the packaging that they came in, just like they came. When you initially open that package, make sure you look at how things are packaged in that box to make sure that you can put them back in the same way to return it to us. We thank you for watching this MHP tutorial on how to record a proper voiceover with this professional audio recording kit. We look forward to working on a project with you very soon, and if you have a project in mind you'd like us to work on, please give us a call today at 570-544-3136 or go to madhaslamproductions.com for more information. Thank you so much for watching, and see us next time here at Madhaslam Productions.